Yeah, definitely. I'm done with my rant and into the news we go. Got the opening titles up there, buddy?
Yep.
Alright, just say the word when you want me to start.
Okay, go ahead. You talked through the whole intro anyways.
Oh no! Alright, welcome to the show.
We're going to change it. We're going to change it slightly now to completely useless tabloids. With the
I'll be interrupting myself with Coma out of the way.
Don't worry, we'll interrupt you.
Yay! Alright, I'm going to change the format of the news today, so I'm just going to get straight into it. Our lead story today is American Truck Simulator. So it's out, and as usual, I'll be talking about system requirements. Luckily for us, it's the same system requirements as Euro Truck Simulator 2, so the old hands who love that game can settle in for a good time behind the wheel. You guys are going to be doing a fair bit of talk.
That sounded wrong in my mind. The old hands can settle in behind the wheel. Is that a euphemism?
Don't think too much about Cybax's old racing uniform.
Yeah. His uniforms are cheap. He only has to pay for the top half.
Yeah, he used to make Trolley blush.
Anyway, yeah, so the other guys will do most of the talking about American Truck Simulator, and I think we're going to be doing a fair bit of chatting about that later in the show, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Moving on, XCOM 2 just launched, and I'm pretty excited about that. I love that series. However, it's had a massive facelift since we last battled aliens, so prepare yourself. Yeah, if you ran XCOM Enemy Unknown at higher settings before, you should have a pretty good time. But I've noticed pick number 4. So one of the things I've noticed though is it's still slightly unoptimized. So I've seen people with GTX 780 Ti struggling to run it at higher settings. So stay within your comfortable range at medium for now until they patch it. Because as long as you've got a 2.6 gigahertz CPU, you should be fine.
Yeah.
The OK graphics card. The biggest change to the latest XCOM game is it's all about guerrilla combat now. So you'll have a lot of missions with smaller squads and tight time limits because you basically got to get in and get out, get it done before overwhelming opposition comes in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so it'll be a bit different and interesting to see how it goes as, more people play it.
I never played any of the other XCOMs. I might have to try that out.
My favourite version is actually the old original 90s version with the mods for it. There's a mod called Open XCOM for I'll check the name of the game. I think it was called XCOM UFO Defense. That was my favourite. It's just I don't know, just really enjoyed sending out my squad and just seeing what happens. You end up with great stories. Like I remember having this. I just gave one of my soldiers a rocket launcher with 0 training, and just basically set her just to on Overwatch, looking out of the shed. I knew there might be one alien there, and just want to see what would happen. So I remember one alien crawled out, and took a pot shot at my Russian soldier. She fired back blindly with the rocket launcher, blew up the whole shed, killed another 2 aliens sitting inside that I had no idea even existed. So you do get some pretty good moments out of these games.
Boy, could I go for a Russian woman playing with my rocket launcher. God.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Although I'm going to come in there on that one, because I always found that I'd end up killing my own guys with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, I never had them facing my own teammates because they just fire blindly and it could go anywhere.
I think blind would be polite for this. One of the ones I had, an alien could be 2 squares away from him and he couldn't shoot it with a pistol.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's how bad that dude was.
All right. It's probably the guy behind the controls, right?
No, it's all about the dice rolls. So until you actually give them decent equipment, they can be pretty darn useless.
How about if you get 3/4 way through the game and one of your little guys dies?
Aw, you still got another one.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
you've got to train
heartbroken.
up a completely new guy. That's a fucking pain in the ass.
Oh, they're pretty replaceable by then, though.
Well, if it's a pain in the ass, you put it in the wrong place. But yeah.
Anyway, moving on. I could brag about XCOM for years. Other gaming news: Nvidia and AMD have released some new hotfix drivers. Getting into pick 6 there. Nvidia 361.82 hotfix driver fixes the Thunderbolt 3 eject issue. We were having a bit of laugh about that last week. We could actually get an option to eject your graphics card and just screw up the screen for a while before it, reconnected.
Yeah, that's odd, man.
Yeah, so they put out a hotfix to sort that out.
Good thing your
AMD
computer, good thing your
So
computer
that's a
doesn't have an
multi-million
ejector.
pound. So that's a multi-million pound company going, oh, we fucked up. Hang on, we better fix it.
Yeah, they got it sorted pretty quick at least.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's the thing that really annoys me about companies these days. It's okay if it doesn't work when you get it, because they'll fix it at a later date.
It's because they want
The
to
same
beat
with the
the other
games.
guy. They want to get their product out before the other guy, whether it fucking works or not.
Well, to be honest, I reviewed those drivers. They were pretty good. It was just a funny little bug that didn't really cause any problems. It's just kind of bizarre that it was there.
So you're thinking they just didn't even know it was there till it was too late?
Oh, I think they knew it was there, but it's like, this isn't going to really mess with anybody. We'll just chuck it out. It's Tomb Raider's out. We better get it out on time.
Oh yeah, coinciding with a new game. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit of like what Lurch was saying, really.
Oh, nobody really listens to Lurch. You might want to repeat that.
Hey, Tabloid, you said pretty much what Lurch said, and someone left.
Holy fuck! Great.
I think they passed out that I had a valid point.
They couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
AMD also released their first new drivers for the year. The highlight is it's just slightly improved performance for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and they finally got crossfire profiles for Fallout 4. It's still got that 60 frames per second cap, but at least the option is there to mess around with. Picture 7. Speaking of Fallout 4, it's got some new NVIDIA GameWorks effects that make it look a lot better. Now, I know GameWorks can be a bit controversial because it's all sort
Yeah,
of...
hang on, Tabloids.
Yeah?
I think Hemi fell asleep.
Why?
He said picture 7. Oh, there it is.
That is picture 7.
Go on, bud.
You guys, there's a delay.
Nobody-
Don't watch Twitch. Fuck.
Don't say that on air, because everyone will leave.
They can watch. You don't need to.
Keep watching Twitch.
Yeah.
So Fallout 4's had a new update, 1.3. And it just makes the game a bit more immersive if you have a good graphics card that can cope with these new features. So they've got HBAO Plus, which is just about the lighting and weapon debris. Weapon debris. So HBAO just makes the game look better lit. A lot more shadows on screen. Can make it feel a bit more immersive if you're all about the graphics.
Well, you can see the difference. Like even on the building, the house in the background there, the second floor, like the detail, and you can see the difference even in that, eh?
Yeah, it does look better. A lot of people were saying Fallout 4 looked a bit bland before, so maybe for some people that'll help them out. Weapon debris is the pretty cool one though. That uses physics to create small chunks of interactive debris that you can play around with. So you might have little rocks or little bits of corpse have fallen off people, and you can just use high-powered weapons and explosive things just to knock them around. It was also used in Killing Floor 2 to have interactive gore, so it's a bit of a laugh. Create some potholes and send some chunks of rocks flying. Could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was going to mention though, like PhysX isn't just for NVIDIA though. Most of the time you can get it running on a CPU. So I've seen a lot of games like Borderlands 2 actually had workarounds. They managed to get PhysX running off the CPU anyway. So didn't seem to matter too much to us NVIDIA technology. All right, our first feature story today is on budget Steam machines. I'll be asking a question: who are they for? When is a Steam machine a good buy? For a while ago, we thought this is going to be something that would really take off, and it just seems to have been, just quietly happening in the background rather than a big, console game changer. the main advantage of the Steam Machine consoles is you just got a small system with a budget graphics card. It could be like a GTX 750 or something like that, and you can get that for a cheaper price than what you would with a laptop with equivalent graphics. So you'd be able to run games as long as they on these budget machines, as long as it doesn't say requirement GTX 660 or R9 280 or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you've got a $550 budget, that'll work out pretty well for a lot of gamers.
So it's basically a PC console.
Yeah, they're basically mini PCs that run Steam through Linux.
Oh, it's Linux. Oh.
Yeah, you can put Windows on it, but the base version just comes with Steam OS. So, if your equivalent $550 laptop would be like a 940M, which doesn't compare to a GTX 750. But on the flip side, with a laptop, you get your own screen, and you get a version of Windows. So, yeah, it's basically all about you want a Linux console or a Windows laptop. The only real advantage of Steam Machine so far is you can get a slightly better graphics card.
See, that's the thing. Those Steam Machines don't really interest me, because when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to bring it out in line with the price for a console," and then they turned around and went, "Oh, actually, it's about 500 quid."
Fuck, double a console.
Yeah, it's like $100 more expensive than what we're expecting. But you can't. They can't sell that stuff at a loss though, like you can with the console. And they're not going to make the money back off the games. These hardware manufacturers.
No,
I know, but why did they come out in the first place, knowing full well that they weren't actually going to be able to honour what they were saying?
Yeah, I think it's just a small market for people want to get into budget PC gaming, basically. You can get a pretty good graphics card for the budget.
Hell, well, not being funny, I've got an R9 270X. That plays most games at around 50 to 60 FPS at 1080.
Yeah, it's a handy one still.
Yeah, it's a good card, and my complete system costs less than £400, which is cheaper than what the consoles were when they came out at launch. And I get better graphics. So if I can build one for under 400 quid, why are they trying to charge 600 quid for a thing that's got a worse processor? Or it's not as good as what they're trying to make it out to be?
Because they have to pay for all them little Mexicans that build that fucking thing.
Yeah, but they also get all the parts a damn sight cheaper than I can.
Doesn't matter. They need that $100 billion profit margin.
Business.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't quite made that with my system, but...
Well, I think the thing is, it's more competing against laptops than anything else, and laptops unless you're really low budget, they don't tend to be great value. No. So, for me in Australia, I could buy a $900 Steam machine, or I could buy a $1,250 laptop for the same sort of parts.
And they're probably all stolen anyways, right? Because you live in Australia.
Convict labour.
Convict labour.
Although, on a completely random thing that's just popped into my head,
cock.
There was a group of guys on a Fletcher destroyer that actually managed to defeat a submarine using potatoes.
Yeah.
They actually got an award from the potato company, and an honour at their factory. They've got a big plaque up with all the names of the sailors.
In potato we trust.
In potato we trust, indeedy. That sounds like the Irish.
Huh.
Another bunch of convicts.
Yes.
Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, so with these Steam machines, one of the problems they have at the moment is they don't really have an efficient programming interface like the consoles have. They don't really have an equivalent of DirectX or PS4 API or anything like that. So they've been stalled a bit because they were waiting for something called Vulkan to come out as the equivalent of
right.
DirectX.
I'm gonna cut you off there, because I'm a bit dumb.
Mhm.
What is an API?
Another.
I get confused too. It's like something like an advanced
Another-
programming
Oh, I
interface.
thought it was another pussy injection, but I could be wrong, man.
Yeah, so when you're making a game, you basically use the API like DirectX or OpenGL or whatever to be able to communicate with the all the hardware. So
All right.
So the idea of DirectX 12 and Vulkan is you'll be able to have more control over the hardware than you ever could before. You have more options as a developer when you're trying to optimize your game.
Well, that sounds cool because I mean that's gonna, if anything, that will benefit a lot of smaller indie developers. I mean, because a lot of people probably don't realise SCS is still technically an indie developer. The
Who are
people
they?
behind American Truck.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, like one of the things that's really hellishly difficult to do as a developer at the moment is like use more than one core of a CPU. And like the new versions of the APIs are going to make that a lot easier. So, if you have a system with 8 cores or 4 cores, it'll be more likely to be able to use that, in the near future. Otherwise, it's just crazy complex to program at the moment.
How far in the future? Do I need to go 88 miles an hour?
Well, for DirectX 12...
They're not quite like John DeLorean.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've been looking at like DirectX 12 seems like it's going to become really big in about mid-March. There's a whole bunch of games coming out with it around then, and the Linux equivalent Vulkan, which will be on like Android phones and stuff as well, that won't really be happening till the second half of the year. But it's a good thing to look forward to for gamers. Better technology for making games is going to mean better games for us.
I mean, shout out to everyone that's in the chat at the moment. Have they got any games or anything, or any new segments they think that might be worthy for us to look at?
Why don't you let Tabs finish his show?
Anyway,
well, if I did that, it wouldn't be me, would I?
So the second feature story is going to be AMD's launched some new CPUs. Like, of course, AMD have been stuck in a bit of an awkward position for a while. They're releasing sort of bang for buck CPUs. Don't have the performance of Intel, but they can be pretty good sort of price performance ratio. They sell them at such a low price. But they've also had the reputation as being massively hot or power inefficient. So the latest range, they've tweaked a few things. They've released some new coolers, and they're trying to change that reputation around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I noticed that AMD are trying to go more down the route of an APU than a GPU, than a dedicated GPU sort of thing.
Yeah, they've been doing some interesting things. Like the latest APUs, like you can run Counter-Strike Go at high settings in a budget computer, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you play that kind of game, some of us have lives outside their PCs.
Yeah.
But say you're a 16-year-old kid.
I've got a friend I met at Insomnia 56. He plays Dota 2, and my fucking god, he hasn't got a life outside that game.
Yeah, it can be pretty intense if you want to try and play at the best level. Like, I know so many people put like 1,000 hours in that game last year.
Well, hang on, let me just double check how many hours he's got on that game.
Alright.
See, you're not safe if you're on my friends list.
Alright, so the free CPUs...
Currently 1,533 hours in that game.
Alright,
but to be fair to him, he has put 200 and something odd hours in on Fallout 4.
Hey, you guys.
I keep getting
messages from Professor Thunderduck here. Yeah, API stands for Application Programming Interface. I think.
There we go. I've missed the first word. Thanks, Thunderduck.
I thought it was anal probing incident.
That's what I thought too. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I've got to keep better notes.
Now that's harsh because Showlee's just gone leaving this here because I have the series of hosts right now. We'll be back later. I hope Coma isn't here because he's in a coma and died. No, that's really quite. That's a burn and a half.
That's fucking up there. Yeah?
Is that prize worthy?
That's not quite prize worthy yet.
Not quite.
Because I know for a fact Thunder will top it.
He's working it. He wants that fucking ATS so bad.
Alright. So, yeah, moving on to these AMD CPUs, like, they've finally got some good stock coolers on them, which is pretty awesome because, you know, you won't need to buy an aftermarket cooler anymore to get max performance, making them much better value. So I used to hate that when I was trying to compare, like, a 4th gen i5 and an FX 8370 or whatever. And I look at the FX 8370 and it looked okay. Then I remember, oh yeah, I'd have to buy a top range cooler, so you know, be able to max out its performance. So now the stock coolers on them look pretty sweet. So first up, we'll be talking about the new Athlon. It's just a standalone budget CPU. It's not an APU. It's the first one they're releasing with their new Excavator architecture, which is all based around, you know, use less electricity, have better temperature, sell at a low price. Yeah.
It's called Excavator architecture. Does that mean they're digging themselves a hole?
With their finger.
I think they're trying to bury some of their old mistakes. Yeah, they had some hilarious like machinery names over the past few years. It's like it reflects the brute force approach. They had pile driver and bulldozer.
I fucking love that one.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Now they went for a fucking X-ray.
Yeah, the Excavator.
Thunder, that's a pretty good one.
That?
I don't think it's really a burn towards coma, but that's pretty fucking funny.
Now, I'm actually going to read this one out because it is rather amusing, and it is in contention because I like it. Twinkle, twinkle, little slut, you like my dick inside your butt.
But that's not a burn towards coma, though. I don't think we can count it.
Hey, I've just interrupted you guys. I've got the developer on chat. He's asking if there's a password for TeamSpeak.
Bitch.
Right, okay. Yeah. Don't call him
I would have wanted to type that.
Oh, that was for me,
well,
he says. Cool. Right on, Thunder. Fuck you.
I don't know if type this to the developer here.
Yeah, just tell him,
right.
Bitch.
BITCH. That's how you spell it, folks. And, hey, Hemi.
Hey. Yeah, only because you had to say the letter and you didn't put it in a fucking word.
Well, I kind of did. I spelt the word out.
So that little joke of Thunder's is that winkle, winkle, little slut?
Yeah, winkle, winkle, little slut. You like big dicks inside your butt.
I'm getting so worried. It's like our show's just hit the lowest brow ebb just as the developer logs on. Getting really worried.
Hey, Hemi. That just said logs on.
His chin.
Okay, right. Enough depravedness.
Okay, yeah. Carry on, Tabs. I got your cooler picture up if we're there. I'm not sure if we went past that. I had the... yeah, carry on.
Crickets. He's completely lost. So that we broke tabloids.
Hang on. I'm trying to do a lot. Hey, have we got David here on the Twitch feed?
Hey,
hello,
David.
how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, mate.
Hey, we're just running for a news segment.
From outer space. That's cool.
Hey, thanks.
That's definitely interesting.
So everybody, this is David. He's the dev for Gem Wars. We'll be playing Gem Wars with him later.
Yeah, really awesome having you on the show, man.
Oh, thank you. It feels awesome being on the show.
Just
just to forewarn you, we are quite loudmouthed and we're not PG, so to speak. So you can let your hair down a bit.
Okay, that explains a few things.
Yeah, don't expect the normal show here, okay? Say what you want, do what you want.
Okay, well, it's a good thing I'm not wearing any pants.
Okay! Oh! That's our second one!
To our friend American thing.
Alright,
but
that's awesome.
I am wearing shoes.
Alright, well, that's your one up on Cybax then.
Alright, so yeah, moving on, we've got AMD processors. So yeah, they're just a bit more efficient. Like they've got the same performance as the old like standalone budget CPUs like the Athlon 860K, but they're not overclockable. They're also limited to just 8 PCI lanes. So if you're someone that uses a lot of PCI devices, more than just a graphics card, it's probably not for you, but it's be a really great, power efficient budget CPU. I reckon it'd be a bit of a laugh to actually later on was graphics cards get more efficient, actually show that AMD can do a sub 250 watt system.
Huh.
Anyway.
You lose me completely on hardware, so don't mind me. I'm just going to be jacking off in the background while you're talking.
That's fine. Just have the mic real close.
You're not going to hear much. It's very silent.
Okay. Oh.
Until the end, of course.
Yeah, unless you get in your eye, because that shit burns. I'm assuming.
Yeah, assuming.
Just sue the show if that happens. It'll be our fault.
Actually, you want to hear a story? I don't know if you guys would air this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, okay. You know how you're going inside a young lady, right?
Yeah.
Your dick is like naturally kind of vertical when you're like going inside. So, let's say she's doggy style, right? I was going, into this young woman, and my dick was horizontal, and then I was about to come. I pushed her off. My dick came like, a full 90-degree angle and shot me right in the face.
Hence, we got Gem Wars.
Wow. and that's
Attack of the Giblets.
Exactly. That's where we got the name.
Perfect.
See, David, I'm sorry, but I said at the beginning, earlier on tonight, that we would tone it down a bit because obviously we don't want to be too crude for like the developers that come on, and you've just blown us out of the water.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome.
You heard that here, folks. Only here. We now know where they got the name.
Yeah, well, there you go. Expect that and more.
All right.
That's awesome, man.
This is fantastic. All right. I'm just going to keep going for the news segment, then we'll start, getting on to Gem Wars a little bit later.
That's
Okay,
good.
so AMD's also re-released their APUs with their new stock cooler. The highlight is the A10 7860K, which is it's all on slide 10, those coolers. So they've gone for slightly more efficient CPU and integrated graphics clock speeds, just to max out their performance without getting too hot like they had in some of their old systems.
Because we know how important clock speed is.
Oh yeah. So you're kind of losing 2 to 4 frames per second in running games off the iGPU compared to the old 7870K, but you're getting much lower temperatures and you can overclock back up to that speed anyway. So I reckon they're a pretty solid buy if you're looking for like ultra budget gaming system. There are also rumours of a new top range APU on the way, 7890K. They're going to blitz it with high performance. So it'll be interesting to see if that can actually live up to the potential they keep claiming. They've achieved this great performance. It hasn't quite happened yet, but with some of their new coolers and more efficient clock speeds, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
As a comparison, if you're building a system, AMD does tend to get beaten on just like one thread performance, so they can even get beaten by an overclocked Pentium in the same price range. But they do multitasking pretty well, and the main advantage of them is usually the integrated graphics. Like they still well beat Intel in the budget range. Like I was just looking at tests for Counter-Strike players. You would get medium settings off a Skylake i3, and you would get high settings off an AMD APU. So they've got some good things.
Yeah, that's good for sure.
Yeah. Last of all, we've got the FX 8370. That's the higher range AMD CPU, and it's got an awesome new cooler. It's called the Wraith.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. Look, I really like them. I reckon they're good gaming CPUs. Like, you're not going to get the same performance in gaming as you would with let's say, like an i5, 6600K or anything like that.
Right.
But you're going to get something that's good enough for 1080p gaming at 60 frames per second at a good price range.
Nice. Did you happen to look into those radiant coolers I was telling you about?
No, not yet.
Okay, we'll leave that for another segment. No big deal.
Yeah, but this cooler they've got in their FX8370, it's $10, and they're actually really sweet. Like, they were doing temperature tests, and they were within 5 degrees of top end of water coolers. So
yeah, that's
I reckon that makes them pretty good value.
All right.
So that pretty much brings us to the end of the news. Our upcoming game next week that I'll talk about is Unravel. It'll be on slide 12, and it's just a really cute looking sort of adventure puzzle game. Think Limbo, but probably a lot less dark.
So what, you're made of wool?
Yeah, you're pretty much made of wool, and you kind of unravel as you travel around. You sort of solve physics puzzles just with unraveling your thread to be able to rope swing around and things like that. And it's an EA game, but it's interesting enough to be worth talking about.
Right.
Even though it's on Origin. The system settings, recommended settings so far is saying it'll run on integrated graphics, so it could be a good one for the family.
All right.
That concludes the news. Slide 13. I'll see you next week for a virtual reality and augmented reality news special.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for the news, tabloids, and we're going to head into skit 1 here now, and we'll see everybody in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, cheers. It's been a lot of fun.